the iconic classic dumbbell without the So which is best, kettlebells or dumbbells? We're about to find out. Of course, it's dumbbells, I hear you cry. Where would we be without the iconic dumbbell curl to make those biceps massive? Or is it dumbbells? Well, they have been around for years. They are iconic. They are the staple of the bodybuilder. They've been used in gyms throughout the world. They're very adaptable. You can progressively overload with them. You can incrementally add weights. In gyms, you get 1 kg up to 50, 60 kg. The sky's the limit with dumbbells. You know, you can bench press them. You know, you can press them up. They come in all shapes and sizes. You get hexagon ones, round ones, disc shaped ones. They are adjustable. So what even is the contest? Well, for me, here's the thing. To make this video, I had to actually go into my shed, and there's my shed right there. To find the dumbbells, I had to go in there and root around for about 20 minutes, and then I had to pull them out. My dumbbells have been in there for over a year. Now, don't get me wrong, I do get them out occasionally and do the odd dumbbell press, but essentially they live in the shed and they are rusting away. And that's actually what prompted me to make this video. Enter the kettlebell. So compared to the dumbbell, the kettlebell hasn't been around in Western areas anyway for that long. They've been around for a lot longer around the Eastern Bloc, where essentially they were used as weights to measure things. Now, they are awkward looking. They have an offset handle. They are quite hard to use. The skill level required is a lot harder than a dumbbell, which you can just pick up and use almost straight away. They come in 4 kg increments. There's quite a big step up in between kettlebells. This is a 16. The next one up is a 20. And the one down from this is a 12. Now, they are starting to make 2 kg increments, but that's still quite a big leap. So what is the appeal of the kettlebell? Well, these kettlebells, they live pride of place in the corner of my kitchen. They are used on an almost daily basis. And I think that the main thing is, for any piece of gym equipment, the best piece of gym equipment is the piece of equipment that you're going to use on a regular basis. And I just find these just a little bit more interesting. Yes, I can press them overhead. I can squat with them in a funky exercise called a goblet squat. I can swing them around as well. I can do exercises called snatches, and with funky names such as the Turkish get-up. And they just make training a little bit more fun for me. So that's why I'm erring on the side of kettlebell, and I want to put my case forward for the kettlebell. So if you've seen any of my training videos, you know that predominantly I train for injury prevention, I train for longevity, and I train for performance. They're the 3 main things. Now, the performance side of things is nothing fancy. It's just I like to run and bike. So I train to make those a little bit easier for myself, and to stop me getting injured doing those things as well. So a bit of strength, a bit of power, a bit of agility, and range of movement, mobility, that type of thing. That's the main kind of training that I do. And for this, I find that the kettlebell wins hands down. You know, I was talking there before about doing things like swings and snatches, and they're the kind of dynamic movements that you need to start building the elasticity in your muscles, but also muscle endurance. So, you know, I can allow my muscles to be working at a higher rate for longer. What dumbbells do is they're really good at hypertrophy, which is building muscle. So you can lift really heavy weights, you know, for a low number of reps, and really pump that muscle up. But I don't particularly want big muscles. For one, it's going to slow me down when I'm running and biking, and two, I'm kind of past that age where I want to, you know, have big muscles and look good on the beach. So that's where the kettlebell comes in. Yes, it is a steep learning curve. Now, my biggest advice with the kettlebell is to go fairly light. You know, I'd start with a 12 kg kettlebell and just learn the movements. They call it greasing the groove. So you pick it up, you learn the movement of the hip hinge, which if you've done any gym work at all, the hip hinge is your classic deadlift that you would do. And you learn that movement, and then you progress on to doing things like the kettlebell clean and the kettlebell swing. And from there you can progress, you can press overhead, and you can do overhead presses and then clean and press, and then you can do snatches. So it makes it interesting. You're learning a skill as well as you're not just hunking a piece of weight around and getting out of the gym. You know, you're learning a skill, you're honing your skill. And I think for me, that makes it working out more of a hobby, and something I enjoy to work at. It's perfecting technique, just like I would my swimming technique or my biking technique or even my running technique. So the kettlebell allows me to do that, allows me to be a little bit more interesting. And the dumbbell was the first piece of kit that I did buy, but you know, I just got bored with it. I didn't just particularly like it. So that's why they've been consigned to the shed, and they are all rusty now. And I've got them out to make this video, and I've kind of might use them again to do some chest presses while I've got them out. But soon they will be consigned back to that shed. So all those things, all that being said, the dumbbell, really good for building muscle, you know, really making you strongman type stuff. Really heavy lifts can be done with the dumbbell. Maybe not the bet. You want to add some barbell work in there if you want to do that as well. You know, the good old barbell. But I'm thinking mainly for home use. If you're at home, then you know a good set of dumbbells will help you with that. However, if like me, you may be getting on a bit in your years and you're wanting the agility, mobility, injury prevention, longevity route, okay, then I would seriously consider the kettlebells, getting a 12 kg kettlebell, and then you can work your way up to, you know, 16 and 20. Now, some movements with the kettlebell, you would be better off with a heavier bell. So like for a swing, for example, with a lighter bell, the kettlebell swing, you can use your arms to lift the bell up, and you're not using the hip snap. With a heavier bell, it forces you to use a hip snap. So you have to use your hips to force the bell upwards to the top of the curve. As you can see, I've just put in a little video to demonstrate that. When you're pressing overhead, you're obviously going to be limited by the weight that you can press overhead. So you've more chance of pressing a 12 kg overhead. So that's why I would start with that weight. You know, if it's 16 or a 20, you might not be able to get the reps in. So start with a 12, get consistent, you know, get 10 to 15 reps of pressing that overhead, greasing that groove with the swing, learning some of those movements, and then progress on up to the 16 and then to the 20. Because if you've never lifted before and you start swinging around a 16 or a 20 kg and you're not really sure what you're doing, you will put your back out, believe me. So just take it steady, get yourself a kettlebell. They do make fantastic doorstops kettlebells as well, I'll not lie. So if you do buy one and you don't use it, you've got quite an expensive doorstop there to keep your door open. But I promise you, if you're serious about your fitness and your health, then you will be using it. Leave it in the corner of the kitchen and do it every day. My target at the moment is 100 kettlebell swings every day, and I'll just do that either 2 sets of 50 or 4 sets of 25, single-handed swings, double-handed swings, swapping over, arm changes, alternate swings, lots of different ways to do it. But yeah, it just keeps me active, and it keeps those muscles going, and also the ligaments moving and my joints going, which is really important at my age. Thanks for watching this, guys. I hope I've converted you to the kettlebells and not put you off dumbbells too much. But whatever you're using, keep using it. Do something is better than doing nothing. Bye for now.